Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be upcycling a quilt into a balaclava. And if you don't have a quilt laying around, you can still do this with any blanket. It's a super easy upcycle project, so if you are new to sewing, you have no problem following the easy step-by-step tutorial. With all that being said, let's get started. Getting started with supplies, you'll need one quilt, and you can use any style of quilt or blanket for this project. The biggest thing you want to look for when you're picking out your quilt is the overall thickness. You want to make sure it's on the thinner side because when we bring all these panels together at the end, it can get pretty bulky and hard to sew through. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out your quilt or blanket. But anyways, moving on to assembly, the first thing you want to do is cut out the panels for the balaclava. If you have one sitting around, you can trace it, or I'll link a couple printable patterns down below. And there's a lot of different variations and styles you can make when it comes to the balaclava. For this video, I'm going to be making a 3-panel version, which includes a hood, a face mask, and a neck warmer. For this style, you'll need one neck panel cut on the fold, one face panel cut on the fold, and 2 hood panels. And I'll be cutting my hood panels on the outside edge so I can use that bias tape to cover up the raw edge. And you can cut these panels to any size. If you're looking to make an over the helmet hood, then you're going to want to cut the hood panel on the larger side. And when it comes to the face and neck panel, you're going to want to cut these to the same width. For the height, I recommend cutting them a little bit taller, and then you can trim them up in later steps, because we will be hemming the top and bottom edge, so that's going to reduce a little bit of the height. And the last thing is the width of the hood panel. I'll be cutting mine the same width as the neck and face panel. This will give me an open front, but if you want that front to be totally closed, you're going to want to add 2 inches to the width. This is because we're going to be folding in that front edge to create a loop for the cord. But anyways, now that we have all the panels cut, we're going to place the neck panel off to the side and lay the hood and face panel out with right sides facing up. This brings us to the first step, and that's going to be adding the eyelets. If you don't want to add the elastic or cord, you don't have to add the eyelets, and you can skip ahead to the next step. But we're going to be adding them to both of the panels, starting with the face panel. And you're going to want to make your markings about 1 inch from the top edge, so that way when we roll over that edge, the eyelets are in the center of that hem. And this will vary based on what size eyelets you're using. I'm using a 6mm eyelet. If you're using a bigger eyelet, you're going to want to give yourself a little bit more space. For the hood panel, I'm going to be placing mine about 1 inch from the side and 1 inch from the bottom. And the same rule applies when you fold in that front edge, you want your eyelet to be in the center of that hem. And again, I'll be using a 6mm eyelet. These are on the smaller side. If you want to go bigger, I recommend going up to 8mm. Once you have the markings, go ahead and punch or cut openings for your eyelets. Place the eyelet through the opening from the right side and then add your backing. To secure the eyelet down, I'm going to be using a hammer die. This came with the eyelet kit, but if you want to ramp up your production, I recommend using pliers or a press. For the hammer die, you're going to place the base on the right side and hammer it down from the back. And you don't need a ton of force or else you're going to bend the eyelet. And then from here, go ahead and repeat this process for the rest of your eyelets. Now that we have all the eyelets installed, we're going to be cleaning up the top edge of the face panel and the front edge of the hood panels. This will allow us to fold the edge over once when we're creating the hem. And since I cut my hood panels on the bias tape, I can skip this step for the hood panels. So what we're going to be doing is serging the top edge of the face panel and then the front edge of the hood panels. And again, if you cut yours on the bias tape, you don't need to do the hood panels. If you don't have a serger, you could use a zigzag stitch instead. But that's going to seal off the edge so that way the batting is not leaking out. And since this is a thicker material, it's going to allow us to only roll that edge over once and not roll it over twice, because if you roll it over twice, it gets very thick. And we'll be doubling up on this next step. We'll place the right sides together for the hood panels, lining up the back curved edge. And for the face panel, if you did not install the eyelets, then we're going to be rolling that top edge over to create a nice clean edge. But if you did install the eyelets, you're going to want to skip this step and just sew the hood panel. Once you have both of the panels ready, we're going to sew the back curved edge of the hood panel at a 1/4 inch seam allowance and add a stitch below the eyelets for the face panel. Again, if you added the eyelets to the face panel, you're going to want to wait to sew the hem. I just want to show the easiest method if you're not using the eyelets, because if you are using the eyelets and you add the hem and you sew that back edge, it's going to seal off the hem and not allow you to slide the elastic through the opening. But anyways, moving on, now we're going to place the right sides together for the face panel, lining up the back edge, and we're going to sew just the back edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. For the hood panel, we're actually going to be folding the seam allowance to the left or the right and adding a top stitch. Now this is optional. If you don't want to add the top stitch, you can skip this step. But it does add a little bit of strength if you serge those panels together. To speed up the production, we're also going to be adding a top stitch to the face panel after we make our serge. And again, the top stitch is also optional for the face panel. But as you can see, now that we have the face panel complete, it's sealed off our hem so we can't feed the elastic through. But if you're not adding the elastic, this is the easiest and fastest way to do it. If you did install the eyelets, you're going to want to hem that top edge before moving on to the next step. But anyways, that's going to do it for the face panel, so for the moment, we can place it off to the side. And I want to quickly show you the top stitch on the hood. As you can see, it flattens out that seam and makes that curve look nice and neat. For this next step, we're going to be hemming the front edge of the hood to create a path for our cord. We'll be doing it the same way as the face panel, rolling that front edge under so the eyelet is in the center of the hem. And since we have that bias tape, we're only going to be folding the edge over once. So fold the edge over evenly, place a few pins, and stitch it down. And remember, we're placing the stitch on the outside of the eyelet. I will say the bigger you make this hem, the easier it is to feed the cord through in later steps. But anyways, that's going to do it for the hood panel assembly, so for the moment we can place it off to the side. Now we can grab the neck panel and lay it out with right sides facing up. The folded edge will become the front, and that's why it drops down further so there's more coverage. And the deep curved areas are to wrap around your shoulders. We're going to be hemming the bottom edge, but before we do that we want to serge it and clean it up, so take it to your serger, serge the bottom edge, or add a zigzag stitch. The same rule applies. We want to secure those layers together so the batting doesn't leak out. Next we're going to place the right sides together, lining up the back edge, and we're going to stitch just that back edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just like with the hood and face panel, we're going to add a top stitch to that new seam. So fold the seam allowance to the left or the right and add your top stitch. This seam will be exposed on the back, and it's really nice to add this because it cleans it up and makes it look really neat. The last thing we need to do to complete the neck assembly is hem the bottom edge. I'm folding mine under about 1 inch, and since we're working with deep curves, you kind of want to do this as you sew. You can take the time to pin it all down, but those curves are going to keep popping out a little bit and it's really hard to do. So I found the easiest way to do this is just fold it as you sew it. Feel free to add more than 1 stitch along this bottom edge or even use a zigzag stitch. But that's going to do it for the neck assembly. Now we can grab the face assembly and the hood assembly. All the panels are complete and ready to be sewn together. So the first thing I'm going to do is place a face assembly inside the hood assembly, lining up the back stitched edge. And real quick, I want to show you it from the front side. You can see that my hood doesn't meet up front. This is because I made it the same width as my neck and face panel. But if you made the hood panel wider by adding the extra 2 inches, then it should cross or overlap up front. And the wider you make it, the more it's going to overlap. The second thing to look at this stage is the height of the face panel. You can quickly try it on and see how tall it is because you can always trim it along the bottom edge to reduce the height. It's a good thing to double check before sewing all the panels together. Now we're going to lay it back on the side, grab the neck panel, place it over top with right sides together. And you may want to place a few pins so the face and hood panels don't slide around. Remember, the taller side of the hood panel is going to be up front, so you can use all the stitching in the back to line everything up. As you can see, we're dealing with 3 layers of quilt, so it's pretty thick. If you can't serge through it, you can use a zigzag stitch. But from here, we're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew all the way around the bottom edge. After sewing, quickly double check, make sure all those layers got stitched together. Pull the neck panel down, separating it from the hood and face panel. And what we're going to do next is add a top stitch, but if you don't want to add it, you can skip ahead to the next step. And I'll be adding my top stitch on the neck panel side. This is because it's the side that's the least bulky and it's the easiest to sew through. But as you can see, it really flattens out that entire seam and makes it look really professional. Now that we have all the sewing complete, we're going to move on to adding the elastic and cord. I'll be starting with the elastic, and we're going to be installing the elastic in the face panel. If you don't have elastic, then you can install cord in both. It's really simple, just feed your elastic from one eyelet to the other. After feeding it through, we're going to add a double opening cord stopper to one side and then tie a knot. Tie the knot super tight, snip the ends, and then feed it back into the eyelet. Shuffle the elastic around so the knot ends up at the back of the face panel. Now that we have the elastic installed, we're going to be adding cord to the hood assembly. And I'm just using standard paracord. It comes in a bunch of different colors, so you should be able to find something that matches your fabric. We'll be installing it the same way, feed it from one eyelet to the other. Snip the ends to your desired length, add a double opening cord stopper, and to finish it off, I'll be adding cord caps. Feed the cord caps onto the cord, tie a knot, and then pull the cord cap back over the knot. And the last thing you need to do is snip the cord flush with the cord cap. This will seal off the cord and prevent it from unraveling. You can also use a lighter to melt the ends for a better seal. And moving into the final step, that's adding your branding. I use leather strips added with double-sided rivets. It's a fun and easy way to go, but you can switch it up using embroidery, woven tags, or screen printing. Now that you have one complete, you can really start to switch it up and customize it to your sizing. Whether that's making a bigger hood, a bigger mask, or even a bigger neck panel. All these panels can be easily customized to fit your measurements. And lastly, if you used a big quilt, you'll have enough left over to make more. And the fun thing about it, each one will be a little bit different. So have some fun with it, get creative, and make a balaclava that's unique to your style. And there you have it, your new balaclava is complete. Hopefully yours turned out as good as mine did. And I know if you're using a thicker quilt, it might be hard to sew through all those layers at the end, but that's totally fine because you don't have to use a serger. You can use a regular sewing machine and that should get through all the layers just fine. And there's so many different style of quilts out there, so every balaclava is going to be a little bit different. Like always, I want to see what you come up with, so tag me on Instagram at Proper Fit Clothing, and until then, I'm going to keep the videos coming at you, so I'll see you next time.